师开始说，本来有一个晚上呢是要做护法大黑天的法会。
So before I start explaining this practice, and I want to go a little bit further about, you see, general the principle of the Buddhist teachings. And I'm sure a lot of people here, it's been a long time practicing Dharma, so I'm sure you have thought about this from many different Rinpoches and many different lamas before. But I believe there are some new people who recently joined the center, so for them, to have some understanding about what is really, how to practice this Buddhism, particularly Vajrayana. So I want to explain a little bit further before this actual practice to explain. And generally speaking, you see, in Buddhist teaching, one is called the skillful me, which is method, and one is the wisdom of emptiness. And these two is the basic principle of the Buddhist teaching. These two, you see. The first, what I'm saying is the skillful means, which is method, is actually, we are talking about, you see, accumulation of merits. And you see, for instance, like this 6 parameters, is practice of the generosity, the practice of the morality, and practice of the patience, and practice of this diligence and the meditation. And these are what we call the skillful means. Because because we are in this samsara, because of that is not something that samsara is something is existing, so that we are experiencing. Actually, what we are in samsara means we are in samsara because of the habitual patterns, because it's habit, because many lifetimes we've been through, we did bad karma, so that habit is remain in our conscience. So that brings up another bad karmas and then keep creating. So that way we are into the samsara. And the result of samsara is the suffering. You see? So actually it's not something, suffering is existing and samsara is existing that we can give up, or we not the point. If it's true, then in any time we can just throw it away. For instance, like if we have something dirt on our hand, and since it's existing, we can just throw it away, and then it's very simple. But our case, even though we don't want suffering, and we want happiness, but it doesn't come like what we want to have, because it's habit. Because it's for like an alcoholic. Once, before nobody drinks, you see. When the people born, nobody alcoholic, you see. But after you start drinking one bottle, because of that too strong habit. So it's same, because it's only difference is only one life, this drinking is only lifetimes, right? But the other one is many lifetimes habit. So that's why it's so difficult. Abandon or give up, these bad karmas, because the habit. So that's why Buddha's method is, instead of we cannot say we just get rid of this habit. So he suggests we have to accumulate merits. We have to build another habit, because antidote for bad habit is good habit. You see, poison is bad for the health, and it may cause you die. So in order to get rid of the poison, first you have to bring out all your poison that you have taken. And so actually, just taking out poison is not really doesn't mean that you're cured. Still you can be weak. So in order to some, without knowing lay, and if we had any broken or, slight broken or any samaya or bone, and it may cause some, obstacles to His Holiness rebirth. So that reason, and even His Holiness letter is mentioned, and his followers, particularly many different monasteries, should be do the Vajrasattva puja. So that's why I recommend you to do this also in the Kagyud Centre. People, do this practice, and then that way, and purifies our bad defilements, and that result that definitely affects to the His Holiness rebirth and good return. And so that's the really basic reason that I want you to practice this. And now I want to start the actual practice, explain. Before we start this actual practice, and I want to explain to you a little bit about what really means, how to be the Vajrayana practice, explains, because in the Vajrayana we have a lot of deities and many different forms of deities, and a lot of people doesn't have proper idea how it should practice, and it's quite different, you see, because God is, which really means God is, in all Buddhism we say in samsara there's 6 realms, and the first realm is the God realm, and then there's a jealous God realm, and then human realms, then animal realms, and then Holy Ghost realms, and then hell realms. You see, this is what we call 6 realms. So within this, all sentient beings should be included. So I'm saying is the deity that what we practice, and